I'm Carrie Ann Knauer, and welcome to Carrie's Kitchen. Toasting marshmallows doesn't just have to be an outside activity during the campfire, you can do it inside as well. And what makes it all the more fun is when you're using homemade marshmallows. That's right, today we're going to learn how to make marshmallows. You'll never go back to those ones that come in the bag at the store again. Are you ready to cook?
Now the first thing we're going to do is make the coating that goes on the outside of marshmallows. Have you ever noticed that store-bought marshmallows have that kind of powdery residue on the outside? Well, they do that because the inside would be sticky and they would all stick together. So we need to prepare a mixture that's going to be 1 part confectioner's sugar and 1 part cornstarch. It doesn't have to be an exact science here because you just want to have a little bit of sugar to make the cornstarch not so bland. I'm going to mix it together so that I'll have it ready ahead of time. Okay, now we're going to use a 13 by 9 baking pan for this, and I'm going to spray it down with some cooking spray because you don't want the marshmallows to stick. But you don't want the marshmallows to be oily either, and that's why we're going to use the cornstarch sugar mix. Alright, you put it in there, and then you just tap it around until you get the bottom and the sides a little bit coated. It's not going to go too tall up in the pan. Then you can shake out the excess. Now we're going to prepare the gelatin, putting this directly into the bowl where I'm going to be doing the mixing later. We're going to add our very cold water to that. And it's going to have at least 10 minutes to soften up. Now we're going to make our sugar mixture, which is the most important part of marshmallow. Start with a little bit of water and a cup of corn syrup, and then our sugar. And just a pinch of salt. Now I'm stirring it up before I turn on the heat so that there aren't any pockets of dry sugar that might burn to the bottom. I'm going to start stirring it. You want to get this to a full boil before you start timing it. And this is where a candy thermometer comes in handy because you need to get it to 240 degrees. Now I didn't even have a candy thermometer, so I used my meat thermometer and I just made sure that it didn't touch to the bottom. Alright, when it gets that hot, it takes at least 10 minutes. You want to pour it into your bowl where your gelatin is. Then I say give it a little bit of a stir just to make sure there aren't clumps. And then you just let the mixer do its work. I started out slow, so good to break it up and then just gradually work its way up to high. And once it gets to high, you want to let it go for about 12 minutes. And what this is doing is really frothing up the air into the sugar. And the gelatin is what's going to make it keep that shape, so that it doesn't just bubble away like a normal film. It'll look like marshmallow. It looks exactly like the marshmallow cream that you get on top of a snowball. Probably my favorite part of a snowball. Spread it out like you would a cake batter. It's much stickier though. And you want to do this as quickly as possible because it'll start to get to that stage where it pulls apart and gets like little strings hanging from it. Now you have to let it cool for 4 hours. Give yourself plenty of time ahead of time when you're making this recipe. Alright, I'm going to cut around the edge of the pan. Just make sure it's not connecting any. I'm going to coat my hands in some of the cornstarch mixture so they won't stick. Once I get a corner up, I can just pick it out with my hand. Wait a minute, this was pretty cool. Alright. Now here comes the most time-consuming part. We're going to cut it into our pieces. I'm going to try to coat the pizza wheel with a little bit of the cornstarch, but it's not easy. What you want to do is cut it into strips. And they'll be sticky on the inside, so you're going to have to keep trying to get your pizza wheel clean and going through it. But I find this is the best way to make your long straight lines. Then I'm going to take my kitchen shears and just cut them into the individual pieces, because I'm only cutting about an inch wide at a time. Now, as you can see, this makes a lot of marshmallows, so feel free to vary up your strips into different sizes. When I did this, I made strips that were kind of like bite-sized pieces so that people could try them when I took them into work. And then I made some bigger ones that were perfect for toasting in the fireplace. Kind of bigger, it would be perfect for a s'more. You could even make the mini marshmallows if you wanted to for hot chocolate. But I think that would be pretty hard to cut up all those small ones. It's just all what you're looking for. So I cut them up. They're sticky on the inside, so you get them into the cornstarch and sugar mixture. And you just spin them around, make sure that they're coated. And then you try to shake off as much excess powder as you can before you put them into your storage area. Look how cool they are. I say don't worry about cutting them too perfectly, or else people aren't going to know that they're homemade. And there you have it, homemade marshmallows. Light, airy, melt in your mouth. Absolutely amazing.